What if I told you that every woman you've ever wanted could feel drawn to you? Not because of what you say, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. That the real secret to attraction has nothing to do with chasing, performing, or pretending, and everything to do with mastering your energy. Most men spend their lives trying to figure women out, memorizing lines, copying behaviors, watching videos, hoping for that one trick that makes her want them. But the truth is, it's not what you do to her that matters. It's what you trigger inside her. And once you understand that, everything changes. Women are emotional creatures, but not in the shallow way society portrays them. Their attraction is spiritual, psychological, and deeply instinctive. They don't fall for the loudest man in the room. They fall for the one who feels different. The man who doesn't chase, doesn't need, doesn't beg for validation, but stands so sure of himself that she can't look away. This video is not about fake confidence or manipulation. It's about uncovering what truly makes women desire you on a subconscious level, the kind of desire she can't explain but can't resist. So before you scroll, before you assume you've heard it all, stop, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you've been told about attraction. It will make you see women and yourself in a completely new light. By the end of this video, you won't just understand what makes women want you, you'll feel it. You'll carry yourself differently, speak differently, move differently. This isn't a game. It's the truth about energy, attraction, and power. And once you hear it, you'll never go back to who you were before. Stay until the end, because this might just change the way women see you forever. Let me tell you something that will shift the way you look at attraction forever. Women are not drawn to logic. They are drawn to energy. You can't argue, prove, or reason your way into her heart. You can be successful, handsome, and intelligent, but if your energy feels uncertain, needy, or chaotic, she will sense it instantly. Because a woman doesn't fall for the man who looks best on paper. She falls for the man whose presence makes her nervous in the best possible way. The one whose energy demands her attention without even trying. When she meets a man, she's not evaluating his words as much as she's feeling his vibration. Does he feel grounded, or does he feel restless? Does his energy say, "I know who I am," or does it scream, "Please like me"? Women are emotional readers. Their psychology is built on interpreting nonverbal signals faster than you can speak. That's why a woman can meet a man and, within minutes, feel either safety or danger, attraction or indifference, curiosity or boredom. It's not magic, it's instinct. And here's the shocking part. The very moment you start trying too hard to impress her, she begins to lose interest. Not because she dislikes effort, but because she can feel the insecurity behind it. When a man performs for validation, he gives away his masculine polarity. His words say, "I'm confident," but his energy says, "I need you to approve of me." And women respond to energy, not intention. That's why you might see a quiet, average-looking man effortlessly holding a woman's attention while a more qualified guy fades into the background, because one is energetically certain, the other is not. Attraction is not something you create by doing, it's something you trigger by being. It's the difference between acting confident and feeling confident. Acting confidence is loud. It's overcompensation, exaggerated laughter, bragging, showing off. Real confidence is quiet. It's stillness, eye contact, emotional steadiness. When you walk into a room grounded in who you are, you communicate safety. And that safety gives a woman permission to open up emotionally. You see, every woman, deep down, wants to relax in the presence of a man who won't crumble when things get uncertain. She's not consciously thinking, "I need a protector," but her biology is scanning for it, for emotional solidity. When she feels that in you, her nervous system settles, her guard drops. And that's when she begins to feel attraction that she can't explain. She'll describe it as chemistry, but it's really energetic alignment. Now let's go deeper. Women are emotional amplifiers. Whatever you give them emotionally, they'll reflect it back magnified. If you bring chaos, she'll mirror it with drama. If you bring peace, she'll mirror it with softness. You can't demand feminine peace while operating in masculine anxiety. Your energy sets the tone for the dynamic, not your words. So if you want to make her want you, stop trying to control her emotions and start mastering your own. When you approach her with grounded curiosity instead of desperate desire, you change everything. You stop asking, "Does she like me?" and start asking, "Do I like her energy? Does she add peace to my life?" That shift alone rewires your body language, your tone, your entire presence. You're no longer seeking approval, you're evaluating. You become the chooser, not the chosen. And women can feel that. What most men never realize is that the moment they stop chasing, they become magnetic. Because women don't want to feel like a goal you're trying to win. They want to feel chosen by a man who has options but still chooses them. A man who doesn't need attention because his own presence fulfills him. That energy, that quiet certainty, that self-assured stillness. That's what draws her in at a level she doesn't even understand. You don't have to speak a lot. You don't have to over-explain or over-perform. Your silence can be louder than your words when it carries the weight of self-trust, the energy that says, "I know my worth. I don't chase validation. I attract alignment." That's what makes a woman's curiosity turn into desire. She begins to wonder what it is about you that feels so different, so rare, so grounded. And once she feels that difference, no one else's attention will compare. So remember this. Attraction isn't built in her mind, it's felt in her body. It's not your looks, your income, or your compliments that create it. It's your emotional temperature. The man who can stay calm while others seek validation, who can remain grounded while others react, he becomes unforgettable. Because women don't fall for perfection, they fall for presence. The most magnetic thing you can be is a man who no longer needs to be chosen. Because the moment you stop trying to be wanted, she starts wanting you. Every woman at some point will test the man she's with. Not to destroy him, but to see him, to feel the truth beneath his confidence. Women are not just listening to your words, they're reading your reactions, your tone, your silence. She'll provoke you, pull back, or question your intentions, not because she wants drama, but because she wants certainty. And this is where most men fail. They think the test is an attack, when in reality, it's an invitation. A doorway to prove your emotional strength. You see, emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them. It's not that you don't feel anger, frustration, or fear. It's that you don't let those emotions dictate your actions. The moment you react impulsively, you give away your power. The moment you try to argue, convince, or explain yourself to be understood, you lose the quiet dominance that makes a woman trust you. Because trust is not built through promises, it's built through composure. When you stay grounded in the middle of emotional chaos, you communicate something much deeper than words. I'm safe. You can trust my energy. That's what truly attracts a woman on a subconscious level. She doesn't want a man who fights her emotions. She wants a man who can hold them without losing himself. When she sees you stay calm, when she's testing your patience, when you listen without taking her tone personally, when you breathe instead of reacting, she feels your emotional leadership. And let's be honest, emotional control is rare today. Most men are triggered by the slightest challenge. One text left on read and they spiral. One disagreement and they explode. They confuse emotional expression with emotional intelligence. But true strength isn't loud, it's still. When you know who you are, you don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to chase reassurance. You don't need to fight for control, because control isn't something you impose. It's something you embody. When a woman senses that no matter what happens, you remain calm, she unconsciously begins to respect you. She feels safer, she softens. But when she feels your energy shift with every word she says, when your emotions rise and fall with her moods, she begins to lose faith in your steadiness. And once that happens, attraction fades. Because women don't want to mother a man's emotions. They want to trust his strength. This is where most men misunderstand women entirely. They think being emotionally available means sharing every insecurity and every fear. But there's a difference between vulnerability and emotional instability. Vulnerability says, I can share my truth without losing control. Instability says, I'm drowning and I need you to save me. One deepens connection, the other destroys it. A woman wants to feel your truth, but she also wants to feel your balance. When you're in control of yourself, even silence becomes power. You don't need to react to everything. You don't need to fix every situation immediately. Sometimes, your stillness is what commands her respect. Because silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you're not at the mercy of her emotions or your own. You're choosing your response. And that choice is what separates men who are led by feelings from men who lead with presence. Think about this. Every woman is emotionally intuitive. She can feel when a man's energy is fragile. She knows when your calmness is an act and when it's real. And once she senses that your peace is authentic, she feels something she rarely feels. Safety. That's the moment she begins to open, to trust, to surrender her own defenses. Because when a woman feels emotionally safe, attraction deepens beyond the physical. It becomes something spiritual, something magnetic. But emotional control doesn't come overnight. It's a discipline. It's built in the moments when you want to react but don't. When you feel rejected but stay composed. When you want to prove yourself but instead choose silence. Every time you hold your center, you strengthen your masculine frame. You become a man who can be trusted not just by women, but by life itself. And the truth is, women are not testing to punish you. They test to find your truth. They want to know if your confidence is real or fragile, if your power is stable or borrowed. The test is never about her, it's about you. And if you understand that, you stop resenting her for it. You start respecting it. Because every test is an opportunity to show her that your energy cannot be shaken by emotion, hers or yours. So remember this. The man who controls himself controls the dynamic. The man who reacts owns nothing. The man who responds owns the moment. When you master your emotions, you stop playing the game of chasing, proving, and pleasing. You start leading with stillness. Yes, and that's when everything changes. Because a woman may be drawn to your looks, your words, or your charm, but she stays for one reason only: your emotional strength. The scarcity is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful psychological triggers in attraction. What most men don't realize is that the more accessible you make yourself, the less valuable you appear. It's not arrogance, it's biology. The human mind assigns higher value to what feels rare, uncertain, or slightly out of reach. And women, who are incredibly tuned into emotional value, can sense instantly whether your attention is abundant or exclusive. When you are always available, when you reply instantly, when your energy is constantly reaching toward her, you remove the mystery that ignites desire. A woman doesn't crave constant attention. She craves earned attention. The difference is everything. Earned attention makes her feel chosen. Constant attention makes her feel bored. When she senses that you're emotionally available to anyone, she stops fighting for your validation because it no longer means anything. But when your focus feels intentional, when your energy isn't easily given, she feels something powerful. She feels pulled in. Your scarcity doesn't frustrate her, it awakens her curiosity. She starts to think about you when you're not around, not because you texted her all day, but because your absence has a presence of its own. You see, men often mistake scarcity for manipulation. They think being unavailable means playing games, ignoring texts, or acting cold, but that's not true scarcity. Real scarcity is about having a life so full that you don't have time to chase. It's about being emotionally self-sufficient, about living in a way that your energy is naturally valuable because it's not desperate to be spent. It's the difference between a man who withholds attention to control someone and a man who withholds attention because he's genuinely focused on his own path. The first creates tension, the second creates admiration. A woman respects a man who doesn't revolve his world around her when she feels that you're not waiting for her message, that you're engaged with your mission, your hobbies, your peace. She realizes your time means something. And when your time means something, your presence becomes addictive. It's not the chase that excites her. It's the uncertainty of when she'll feel that energy again. That's the essence of polarity. Distance creates magnetism. Think about it like this. If you eat your favorite food every single day, it loses its flavor. What made it special was its rarity. It's the same with attention. When you constantly feed her validation, she can't taste its value anymore. But when your attention is balanced, when you give it with intention, not dependency, it becomes nourishment. It makes her crave more, not because she's addicted to you, but because she respects the rhythm of your presence. This is why mystery is not about being secretive, but about being selective. You don't have to hide your emotions or play hard to get. You simply need to stop over-giving, stop explaining yourself, stop trying to be understood all the time. Your silence, your pauses, your focus, those are what give your presence weight. A woman feels it when your energy is grounded. She feels it when you don't chase her for connection, but allow connection to form naturally through mutual effort. And this applies not only in romance, but in every aspect of your life. People value what's rare because rarity signals quality. If you are constantly online, constantly texting, constantly seeking attention, you are signaling emotional emptiness. But if you move with purpose, if you choose when and where to invest your attention, you are signaling strength, direction, and independence. That's what triggers a woman's respect, because respect precedes desire. Without respect, attraction fades quickly. The hardest part about mastering scarcity is learning to be okay with silence, to not rush to fill every gap in conversation, to not panic when she pulls back. That space between interactions is where attraction grows. Let her miss your energy. Let her wonder where your mind is. Let her imagination work for you. When a woman begins to imagine your world without her in it, that's when she begins to want to be a part of it. And remember, scarcity doesn't mean emotional unavailability. You can be warm, kind, and connected while still maintaining your boundaries. In fact, boundaries make you more attractive. They show you're capable of self-respect. They communicate that you are not led by need, but by choice. Women are drawn to men who have options, but still choose deliberately. When she realizes that you don't need her to feel complete, she'll start wanting to be part of your completeness. So stop flooding her with attention just to feel secure. Stop performing for validation. Let your energy breathe. Make your presence something she looks forward to, not something she takes for granted. Because the truth is simple. What's always available is rarely appreciated, but what's rare is always remembered. Be the man whose energy cannot be accessed without intention. Because the moment you stop offering yourself freely, you teach her the value of earning you, and that's when desire truly begins. Becoming the man a woman doesn't want to lose has nothing to do with perfection. It's not about being the most handsome, the richest, or the most charming man she's ever met. It's about becoming the man who carries himself with such grounded self-assurance that losing him feels like losing peace. It's the energy of quiet confidence, of knowing your worth so deeply that you no longer need to prove it. Because when a woman feels that, she doesn't just want you, she respects you. And respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. Every woman has met men who wanted her attention. Every woman has met men who tried to impress her. But very few have met a man who doesn't need her to feel significant. That's what separates the unforgettable from the forgettable. When you stop trying to win her approval and start living from your truth, she feels it. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You're no longer trying to be chosen, you're simply choosing yourself. That self-ownership is magnetic because it communicates strength, direction, and purpose. Qualities that touch something primal in a woman's psychology. A woman doesn't fall deeply for a man who worships her. She falls for a man she can look up to, and that doesn't mean dominance. It means emotional stability, self-control, and purpose. When she sees that your identity isn't built around her, she realizes she can't manipulate your emotions or shake your focus. And that's when attraction deepens. Because deep down, every woman wants to know that the man she's with won't collapse under pressure. She wants to feel that no matter how emotional she becomes, you remain her anchor. But here's the mistake most men make. They think being strong means being emotionally distant. It doesn't. It means being emotionally disciplined. It means you can be open, but not vulnerable to manipulation. You can care, but not cling. You can love, but never lose yourself in the process. That balance is what creates admiration. She doesn't want to control you. She wants to feel the gravity of your presence. Becoming the man she doesn't want to lose means having a mission bigger than her. Women are naturally drawn to men who are moving forward, men who have something they're building, something they're fighting for. If she becomes the center of your world, you'll eventually lose her because she'll lose respect. But when you are already centered in your own purpose, when your life has meaning beyond her approval, she will start orbiting around you, not because you demanded it, but because you inspired it. This kind of man doesn't chase love, he attracts it through growth. He invests in his mind, his health, his craft, his peace. His energy is focused, his time is intentional. He doesn't entertain chaos because he's already fulfilled within himself. And when a woman senses that a man's peace cannot be bought or shaken, she becomes protective of it. She starts valuing his time, his attention, his presence, because she knows it's earned, not owed. There's a profound shift that happens when you stop chasing validation. Your entire energy changes. You stop seeking emotional crumbs and start commanding emotional respect. You begin to realize that love is not about possession. It's about polarity. It's about two complete individuals choosing to grow together, not two incomplete people clinging to each other out of fear. When you embody that wholeness, you unconsciously teach her how to treat you. You show her that the only way to stay close to you is through respect, peace, and emotional reciprocity. And this is where most men misunderstand attraction. They think being wanted means being constantly available, but it's the opposite. What makes a woman hold on is not how much you give, it's how consistent you remain in your values. When she realizes that your standards don't shift based on her moods, when she sees that you'll walk away rather than tolerate disrespect, she begins to value you in a way that words can't describe. Because boundaries don't push women away, they pull the right ones closer. Becoming the man she doesn't want to lose means you're not competing with other men. You're not proving your worth through attention or validation. You're proving it through self-control, emotional maturity, and purpose-driven action. You move differently because you know that real strength doesn't chase. It attracts. Real confidence doesn't need loudness. It speaks through stillness. When you embody that energy, women feel it. They sense it in how you walk, how you speak, how you handle rejection, how you prioritize your peace over chaos. They may not always understand it, but they'll always feel it. And once a woman feels that kind of strength, calm, consistent, and authentic, she knows she's in the presence of a man she can't easily replace. So stop asking how to make a woman stay. Start becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to ask. Because the truth is, women don't stay for comfort. They stay for growth. And when your energy inspires her to rise higher, she'll hold on, not out of fear of losing you, but out of gratitude for finding you. Be the man whose presence brings peace, whose absence creates reflection, and whose energy cannot be replicated. Because when you become that man, she won't just want you, she'll never forget you.